Okay, here we are inside the LV room. Okay. Okay, here we have the cap bank. Oh, hotel side. Okay, hotel side. Okay, okay. Inside here, it is very important to make sure the capacitor bank contactor is always in good condition and the contact is never jammed. The reason why is so important because when this contactor is jammed, for most of the people, if the contactor is jammed, there's no problem because the cap bank still in use, and every time in use, 24 hours in use, as long as it can be used. Yes, but however, when you have TMB power dip or TMB no power, and then suddenly within 1 or 2 seconds power come back, it can cause a reverse power because the contactor is a protection also. What we call protection is no wood release. Whenever you have a power supply interruption, the contactor will release because there's no voltage. As it releases, the output power KVAR cannot go back to the system. Just like motor, when the motor is running, pump or any motor is running, there's a contactor holding it. When suddenly TMB no power supply, the contactor will release, but your motor or your pump is still turning and it will become a generator. So to avoid the reverse power, when there's no power coming to the control system, this will release, it will open circuit, so the reverse power cannot go back, cannot feed back to the upcoming system, so it won't clash with the sudden incoming power supply from the main source, so there won't be any reverse power. But if your contactor is jammed, then suddenly no power from TNB, but your motor is still turning, or your cap bank is not discharged yet, there's output KVAR here, suddenly your TNB supply come back, then it will clash, and your incoming side will have explosion, and it will cause your termination explode and cause your breaker or your ACB or your contact to damage. So the cost is very high to repair. So contactor is a protection actually, we call no wood release. That's why until today, even people using the chiller or whatever pump or whatever, they still prefer to use contactor, because when there's no power supply, the contactor release, it gives you a protection from reverse power.